you have less. Your life could be 10 years shorter, and the time you do have is often filled with health problems, shortness of breath, asthma, COPD, and cancer. But the minute you quit, your body starts healing.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome in to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Hey! Welcome to the show. To Get Your Happy On Hour on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm your host, Ricky C. Simmons. And look at here. I got to give a big shout out to all the people that graduated. I mean, from preschool to college. Man, that's huge. I'm very, very happy for everybody that graduated. That's a big deal. You know, and also, I got to take a minute before we get started because we got my little brother here tonight. But I want to talk to y'all right quick about people that are doing positive things. I know you don't get no credit or you don't get enough credit. So I just want to make a special effort to give y'all a big shout out as well because, you know, positivity, man, is very important. Unfortunately, it just doesn't come with a lot of attention. Like negativity gets all the attention, in my opinion. So I'm giving a shout out to all the positive people out there. Y'all keep doing positive things, and I think that's the most important thing to do. And every day you blessed to see. Y'all know my motto is just another day in paradise. So always keep that in mind. That's right. That's right. Ain't nothing but another day in paradise. My guest tonight, let me tell y'all something. This is my little brother. And when I say a little brother, for those of you who don't understand, it's a Nebraska football thing. If you played football for Nebraska and you played before me, you're my big brother. If you played after me, you're my little brother. That's a fraternity that we have. And it's like an unwritten deal, but we all have love and respect for each other. And I just got to give a big shout out to my guest for even being on tonight because he's got a lot going on, which we're finna get into, but he made time for his big brother, and I appreciate that. So we ain't gonna wait no longer. Let's welcome my guest, former Husker, Kenny Wheelhite, to the show. What's up, little brother?
What's up, big bro? How you?
Oh, man, it's your world. I'm just living in.
No, it's never mine.
No,
it's all yours.
See,
it's all yours. Don't even
say
Harrison. Don't fall for that.
Harrison, let me tell you something. See, he's a humble guy too. See,
all these players from back.
Yeah, they're real humble, man. You know, and I be hand selecting them too. So I like humble people. So I'll say this: when it comes to helping people and being positive, that's what my little brother represents. And I'm just gonna jump right in, man. Where'd you grow up?
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
North St. Louis.
North St. Louis. Let me ask you this now. I know you're a baller, but what all sports did you play when you?
I played football, basketball, and baseball.
Okay, and you did that all the way through high school?
Yes, I quit baseball my senior year in high school. Just played at my boys' club.
Okay,
because I don't know if a lot of you guys have heard my story, but
we want to hear it.
I went to an all-white high school.
Oh wow, okay, I didn't know that.
It was a desegregation program, so I had to wake up every morning at 5 a.m. To catch a bus, to meet at a park, to get on another bus to go to my high school. And by the time school let out and practice or whatever, I didn't get home until 7:30 at night. So by my fourth year, I was burned out. After basketball season, I was burned out. I said, I'm just going to get on the bus at 2:10, get home, go to my local boys club, and play baseball there.
Oh wow! So now, you kind of got me with that. So how did you end up getting in this busing situation? I mean, was this something the city was doing? Or?
No. They started it in St. Louis in 1982. Actually,
Okay.
I had an older cousin. We all lived in one house. It was 26 of us in one house.
Wow.
So he was 2 years older. So he went in 82. And so he went in 82 and he liked it. So I applied. You had to apply and be accepted.
Okay.
I actually applied to go to his school, but I got sent to the rival school.
Oh wow.
Which was only 5 minutes away.
Okay.
To be honest with you. So in 84 was his senior year. 84. No, I'm sorry. He went in 83.
Okay.
83. So 85 was his senior year.
Okay.
That was my sophomore year. So we were rivals, and I was playing varsity quarterback, first African American quarterback at the school.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, I got a picture from that team, and there was 5 blacks on the team. Yeah.
Wow.
So every game I watched his stats to compete against him.
What position did you?
He was a receiver.
Okay.
He was probably one of the first big receivers, in the country. He was probably 6'2", 210.
Okay.
Could run, could jump. He was very, very athletic. So
now, did he get a chance to go?
He went to Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
He went to Wisconsin, but unfortunately he didn't finish.
Okay.
At Wisconsin, he fell off a little bit.
Yeah.
But then he went back and graduated.
Gotcha.
He actually got killed in 94. Yeah. So, but again, I grew up, it was 26 of us in one house. My grandparents, my mom's mom and dad had 6 girls and 5 boys. So my uncles, my aunts, and then their kids, we were all in one house. He was 2 years older. So when I was 5, my uncle took me, him, and one of his friends that was 2 doors from us, and my other uncle he's probably 8 years older. We went down in the basement on concrete and played tackle football. So when I was 5 years old, I was introduced to football against two guys that were 2 years older, and then my uncle that was 8 years older.
On concrete.
And there was no crying.
On concrete.
On concrete.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh man.
So
that's a very that's a difficult introduction.
Yes. So and then you say about people being kind and honest.
Yeah.
My grandmother was the kindest woman that I've ever met.
Okay.
She was very caring, loving. Again, when you grew up in a house with 26 people, lots of love. Now there's lots of fights.
Yeah.
But lots of love.
I just can't even imagine 26 people in the same house.
And I slept in a twin bed with my 3 little brothers. I'm the oldest of 4 boys.
Man, y'all was up in there like sardines.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's where the story begins.
Okay.
And again, my upbringing is the reason why I am towards other people. Okay. Because I saw how my grandmother, she didn't work. My granddad bust his butt to try to put food on the table. We didn't have much food. So it was, we had beans on Monday, beans on Tuesday. Wednesday, you had a cold cut sandwich. Thursday, you may get spaghetti because hamburger back then was cheap.
Right.
Friday, you got, and this was every week now.
Yeah.
Friday, you got maybe $1 or $2 to get a box of rice from the local Chinese restaurant. Saturday was hot dogs and pork and beans. So we joke about it today. Saturday night, if you walked into our house, there was a big pot on the stove with probably 50 hot dogs in it.
Wow.
And then a big skillet of pork and beans. Then on Sunday, you got a good breakfast because you had to go to church. And then Sunday night, you got a great dinner.
Wow. Ken, that's amazing, dude. I've known you for a long time, but I didn't know that. So I'm learning something. Now, growing up in this environment, I mean, like I say, I'm not going to even pretend that I understand or I've been there because I haven't. But now, when you got to high school, was it still that way or?
So it was all black. My neighborhood was all black.
Okay.
Fortunately for us, my uncle played at the boys club that I played at, but he's older. He had a teammate that was white. My grandmother would watch his little sister.
Oh, okay.
Would babysit his little sister. So we were, able to learn about whites as they were learning about us at an
Mhm.
early age. My grandmother was from Yazoo, Mississippi, and she would always educate us. I will always say, how did you make it back in those days
Right.
with all that was
Yeah.
going on? And she would say, we stayed on our side of town, they stayed on their side of town, but she'd always say there's good people and there's bad people. There's good white people, there's good black people, there's bad white people, there's bad black people.
Right.
But you treat people with kindness until they show you that they don't want to be treated that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was educated early. So going out to that all white high school, there was some trying times. I mean, you were called the N-word. You were
Right. Right. I can see that.
There was a lot of
A lot of tension.
a lot of tension.
Yeah.
It was one specific hallway they didn't like us to go down at the school, but football was an avenue that I used to bridge the gap.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I'm sitting there thinking, you said you was the quarterback.
Yes.
Man, and that's like the key position at this school that you're not really even.
Welcome, to be honest with you. So let's go back to my first year, my freshman year.
Okay.
I'm in gym class. Now I'm telling my mom the whole time I'm on the football team
Mm-hmm.
because she thought I was. I'm in gym class and our PE teacher, rest in peace, he goes, "Come here, son." He said, "Why aren't you out on the football team?" I was like, I didn't know if I could. That's how.
Yeah. Right.
Again, I was kind of shy, very shy, to be honest with you. I was very shy. So I was like, I didn't know if I could. And he goes, "Well, after class, we're going to walk you to the athletic director's office." So he walked me to the athletic director's office. They called my mom. And they was like, "Hey, if we get him a physical, can he stay after school and practice with the freshman team?" My mom said, "I thought he was on the team." So she was like, "Yeah." So I got a physical. I went to practice, and I became the starting quarterback for the freshman team. Best freshman team the school ever had at that time, because there was another guy on the team. He was really good. He was a running back. So played freshman year. Then I report for my sophomore season, and I was walking out actually to go to sophomore practice, where the varsity defensive coordinator said, "Hey, come here, Will, are you coming with me?" I said, "Where are we going?" He goes, "You going out for varsity?" And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay." So me being a competitor I am,
Right.
won the starting spot. Now the head coach took a lot of,
As a sophomore.
Wow. Head coach took a lot of slack for it. I'll never forget, the guy who thought he was going to be the starter actually quit the team. He was a white guy, of course. So
Gotcha.
And then he became one of the ones that led a lot of negative things that went on, because he was mad that he didn't win the starting quarterback.
You mean in the school?
Within the school.
Yeah, I got you.
So
I can see that.
But yeah, so I played my sophomore year, started varsity my sophomore year, and then we go play in Busch Stadium late in the season. And my cousin had just showed his butt. His team played before us.
Mm-hmm.
He just showed his butt. So I'm in the locker room like, I gotta go do my thing. I gotta go do my thing. So we're playing and we're losing, and we're up, and then they scored to take the lead, and then they stopped us, and then they got the ball back with like a minute and something left, and we thought they were gonna run the timeout. Well, they left 6 seconds left on the clock, and the coach said, "Okay, throw a Hail Mary." You don't believe this, but I could throw it 7 yards back in the day now.
Wow.
I could throw football 7 yards back in the day.
I got you.
So
I believe you.
He said, "Just drop back and throw a Hail Mary." I was like, "Okay." So I dropped back. I looked. I wasn't throwing no Hail Mary to save my life. Took off, made the first. I got hit, spent, made the first 2 miss, spent. Then it's history. They call it the run now. So 68-yard touchdown run with 4 seconds left to win the game.
Oh, yeah, that's your job, man.
So yeah. So again, but that's only part of the story, because I let all that go to my head. I wasn't able to play my junior year because of academics.
Oh,
right.
Gotcha.
Again, so going from the inner city to out there,
right,
the curriculum and the grading scale was a little higher than it was in the inner city. Now, I went home about 2 weeks ago, and I went by my old middle school. Oh my God. You ever seen the movie Dangerous Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer?
Dangerous
Minds. That's a project for you to watch.
Okay.
Dangerous Minds and Lean on Me. And I'm like, God, we made it out of that school. We made it out of that school. And we were talking about it in the neighborhood, how people that went to school with us were a little older than us
Right.
in middle school.
Yeah.
Like I'm in middle school, I'm in the 8th grade, and people driving to school. I'm like, I'm 13. How are you driving to school? But so there was a lot of fighting, you had to fight to protect yourself.
Right.
Then in that middle school, I'm like, I got to get up out of here. I want something different. I want something better. So I used football as an avenue. So junior year, I was unable to play because of academics. It wasn't because I was dumb. I just didn't apply myself.
Right.
So I was able to play basketball mid-season my junior year, then play my senior year football. Then had to go to junior college, of course. 2 years at Dodge City. I call that a 2-year stretch, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
2-year bid.
Yeah. I've been there and done that.
You go from St. Louis to Dodge City, Kansas, man.
Night and day.
But I'll never trade it for anything in this world.
Yeah.
Because it made me realize, one, that without education, I wasn't going to be able to play football.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
2, I got to play 2 more years of football, and then T.O. came calling, and the rest is history.
Now, when you got to Nebraska, did you ever think about playing quarterback here?
So when I got here, they said we were going to recruit you as an athlete.
Okay.
Fine with me.
Okay.
You know, I knew my athletic talents. I knew I was, but I got shot the summer before reporting.
You got shot?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I know. I don't go around. So,
okay,
like you said, I'm very, very
Yeah.
humble.
Right.
But I got shot. I actually pushed my little brother out the way when I saw the guy shooting. And luckily, he got me in my arm. And then I ran the other way and then, got away, of course. But so that summer, I got shot. So they were bringing me along slowly. Then my back went out. And I had my back just went out for some reason. Dressed out for the first game. And then coach said, what do you think about redshirt? I was like, that's fine. So I became a scout team player.
Okay.
And on the scout team, you're playing whatever they need you to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So I was playing receiver. I was playing a little running back. And then when it came to Colorado, I was the scout team quarterback for Colorado, Darian Hagan.
Yes. Yes.
I'm just killing the black shirts. No offense to the black shirts out there, but I'm giving them the blues.
Yeah, you said you give them the business.
Coach McBride stopped practice. He cussed them out. Then he went and told, because the offense was on the other end.
Right.
He said, Tom, your starting quarterback's down here whooping our what. We haven't touched him yet. Came back down, very next play, and I love telling the story. Kenny Walker was one of the best.
Yeah,
athletes.
oh yeah, absolutely.
So I'm reading it, and he just ear holes me. He's supposed to have the dive. He said that with the dive.
Yeah.
Just ear holes me. And so I look up, he can read lips really well. So I said, you let, in different words.
Yeah, I know.
You let Charlie get on you like that you just going to.
Yeah.
And he picked me up by this part of my shoulder pads. One hand, looked at me and said,
yeah,
in the huddle, and just threw me back to the huddle. I turned around and said, it's on now. It's on.
So you done started something.
You done started something. But that's the way it was.
Right. Oh, I know. Trust me.
After practice, T.O. came to me. He goes, hey, would you want to consider playing quarterback? I said, Coach, I told you from day one, wherever you need me, I'll play.
Right.
He said, well, let's visit that after the season. We test out before we go to the bowl game. And T.O. calls me in his office and he said, hey, what do you think about moving to defensive back? And at that time, me and Coach Darlington did not see eye to eye. We did not see eye to eye. So I looked at him and I was like, so I walk in his office and Coach Darlington actually sitting there. And he goes, hey, what do you think about moving to defensive back? And I said, I looked at Coach D. I said, me and this dude don't see eye to eye. And he said, well, he's the one asked for you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I said, really? And he said, yeah. He said, the way you tested, we think you can compete next year for one of the starting spots because you were losing Bruce Pickens, Tahan Lewis, and Rob Hicks at that time. They were all seniors.
Oh, gotcha.
And Tyrone Leggett, Curtis Cotton, John Reese were the only 3 returners with experience. So they said, you do what you're supposed to do. You can battle for one of the starting spots. And I'm thinking to myself, hold on, those 2 are juniors. They'll be seniors. You're going to move Curtis from safety to corner, for depth.
Right.
So, but then we went down the bowl game and first day of practice, they put me out there with the ones to play defensive back. I'm like, what the heck? Me being, athlete that I was okay. I survived, but Then the next year we start up for fall camp, and then they had me listed behind both corners, Tyrone and Curtis. I was just going to switch sides. It was fun. I actually learned from them too.
Okay.
First game that year, I got an interception. Second game, I got an interception. Third game, I got an interception. I'm like, this is easy.
So you getting playing time.
He told me from the start, this is what he said. First 2 series, those 2 will start. You'll go in on one side in the third series of the game, and then the other side on the fourth series of the game, defensive series. And whoever's rolling, I'm going to roll with them. So that's how it was throughout my junior year. So the first 3 games, I got an interception. Then he came to me talking about he wanted me, what do you think about starting this week? I was like, no, I'm still learning this position. I'm feeding off them too.
Right.
So 8th game of the season, we play KU. Go over there, I get 1 interception. I get another one. Tear my ACL. I had 6 and 8 games.
And then you tear
my ACL.
Wow. So that season's over. Junior is over.
Over. I had surgery in November. Was actually playing basketball in 3 months. They put a cadaver in there. It's supposed to have been a faster process, a recovery process that was. So I was playing basketball in 3 months with a brace. Then I went through spring ball with a brace. I started lifting real heavy. I didn't like the weight room at all. I did not like the weight room.
Yeah.
But I started lifting up the body. I got too big. I got up to 195. Played at 175.
Okay.
I got to 195. I'm like, no, I got to lose this. And then I knew Barron Miles was a redshirt.
Right.
Senior, not junior. Barron Miles Senior was a redshirt. I was like, I can't let this guy have my job. So that summer, man, my roommates thought I was crazy. I roomed with Jerry Irons and Lorenzo Brinkley. Lorenzo Brinkley was also from St. Louis. They thought I was crazy. I got up at 6 a.m, ran, did the team workout in the afternoon, then went and did aerobics at night, 6 o'clock at night. They thought I was crazy. I said, I'm
trying to get that weight
trying
up.
to get that weight up. I said, I can't let, I was swole.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't, no. So I came back. I showed up at 176.
Wow.
My senior year.
Got it all. Got it all. So did you end up starting as a
Oh, yeah. I started as a senior.
Okay.
Yep.
And what kind of success did you have your senior year?
Only Coach D, he kind of babied me a little bit because I was only 9 months out of surgery. So if we got up, he put Barron in.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Early on in the season till later on in the season. But I ended up still leading the team in interception with 3.
Okay.
Dropped 2. I don't like to admit that, but
That's all good.
I dropped 2.
That's all good.
But yeah, I ended up with 3.
Now, after after Nebraska football season was over, what happened next?
So you didn't know this either, but I get picked up by the Bears.
Okay.
I go report. I sign my contract. I go home to St. Louis. I get shot again.
You're a crash dummy or something.
I mean, it wasn't something that I sought out. Growing up, I saw people get shot. I saw, drugs had come on, gangs.
Right.
And I always said I was going to stay away from that.
Right.
I'm going to hopefully get let me tell you this story real quick.
Okay.
So when I got shot the summer before reporting to Nebraska, my mama said, we getting your you-know-what out of here for your brothers get you in trouble.
Right.
Again, I'm the oldest of 4. So I called T.O. and Coach Brown. I said, hey, can I come early? They was like, yeah, sure. So I came up and I met them at the apartment that I was going to live in for the summer. And I wasn't going to tell them because they didn't go in and take the bullet out. It's still in my arm. The doctor said it would damage all my muscle tissue if they went in and got the bullet out. It hit my bone and it stopped. So it's resting right up next to my bone. So I wasn't going to tell them. And then my mom made me tell him. So I said, hey, Coach, I got shot yesterday. Man, T.O. looked at me. He goes, with the needle? And I said, nah, Coach. So I raised up my sleeve and it was bandaged. And I said, nah, a guy shot me yesterday. So he looked at my mom. He looked at me. He looked at Coach Brown. He said, you mind if we keep him here to get him graduated, hopefully get you guys out of that neighborhood? My mom said, keep his you-know-what here because his brother's going to get him in trouble.
Right.
That's when I knew I made the right decision because I knew he cared about me as a person.
Right. Right. Well, hey, hold on. Don't go nowhere. We're going to be right back. Man, this guy's got a story that I didn't even know. So don't you guys move. 93.7 The Ticket to get you happy on out. We'll be right back.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning. Now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Veterans, do you know what local, state, and federal benefits and services you're eligible to receive? Do you want help navigating the application or appeals process? Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. You've served our country, now let us serve you. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line, here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer.
In response to attacks against Asian Americans, Maddie Park raised over $250,000 to donate cab rides to the Asian community.
There is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Support the Asian community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog, a cat, or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Hey, we back. Man, you know, I was talking to my little brother during the break. We can't share that kind of stuff with y'all, but man, this guy has interesting times. But back to, you finished playing for Nebraska, and then what happened?
I went to the Bears, got released.
Okay.
And then was fortunate enough, I had a really good agent. He
Okay.
represented Tahan Lewis, who actually played at Nebraska. He played secondary the year I got here.
Okay.
So he called me. He said, well, what do you want to do? I said, I'll pay you to find me work. So he, Tahan was in Canada at that time. He said, well, his team interested in you. What do you think? I said, what do you think? He goes, well, they're going to pay you well enough. I said, well, I'm there then.
Yeah.
So I go up there, and illegally they flew me up. They didn't know that there was expansion teams in the States. Sacramento had a team, Vegas had a team, Shreveport, Memphis, and Baltimore.
Canada?
They had expansion teams.
Okay.
So Sacramento had my rights.
Oh.
But Toronto flew me up. Worked out. I'm on a practice field. They said, hey, we got to get you off this field. We can't tell nobody you was here. We didn't realize that Sacramento had your rights. They don't want to trade you. They want you. So I fly back to St. Louis, and 2 days later, I get on the plane. I go to Sacramento. That's where I meet Charles Thompson. He's on the same team with me.
Oh, okay.
This was in 93. So our team played in Sacramento 93 and 94. And then our owner moved us to San Antonio. So we played in Alamo Dome in 95.
Okay.
And then CFL came down on the teams in the States. They wanted them to have at least 10 Canadians on their roster. At that time, you could only have 10 Americans on your roster in Canada. Well, you had 5 teams in the States that was all American. So they wanted to try to make it an even playing field. So all the teams said no. And then I went to Ottawa, and that's where Steve and I were teammates. Steve Taylor and I were teammates.
Okay.
That was in 96. I was the MVP of that team in 96, finishing for the MVP voting third behind Doug Flutie, Tracy Ham, and myself. And then there was another guy, finished fourth. Then that team folded, and I was the first pick by Hamilton. So I played in Hamilton in 97. Hurt my other knee, and I said, I'm done. Went home, and then I'm sitting there debating on what I wanted to do. And T. Sam's called, Tony Samuel.
Yep.
Long time.
Sam's.
Yep. He said, hey, man, I heard about your knee. You done? I said, yeah, I think I'm done. He said, well, if you want to get into coaching, I don't have a spot for you this year, but you come down here, we'll show you the ropes, we'll find you the job. You volunteer your first year, then you can be a GA the next year, because his GA would be done after that season. I said, let me think about it. Again, I hadn't been away from, I wanted to be by my grandmother, close to my grandmother.
Gotcha.
I wanted to make sure she was good. Because in the off season, I go straight and live with her.
Gotcha.
I would, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Edmonton called. My head coach that was our head coach in Sacramento got the Edmonton job. He called, said, hey, we'd love to bring you back up, So I told my agent, I want this up front, and then I'll consider it. So we got that up front, flew up. First day of practice, knee gave out again. I said, I'm done. I'm officially done.
Right.
Went home. Something happened at home. I said, I got to get out of here. Called Coach Sam's, drove. It was 3 a.m. Drove all the way to Las Cruces, New Mexico. And that was in 98. Never looked back.
And that's when you
I ain't
started.
my grandmother was my rock now. I ain't called her for 2 weeks because I needed to get away from what was going on in St. Louis. I needed to clear my head. So I ain't called her for 2 weeks. And when I called her, she called me every name in the book. She was like, when you come home? I was like, I ain't.
Yeah.
I love you. If you need me, I'm there for you. I said, I just got to be away from that environment.
Right.
Or something was going to happen.
So now, that's when your coaching career started?
1998.
1998. Okay. With Coach Sam.
With Coach Sam's.
And that was at New Mexico?
New Mexico State.
New Mexico State.
He did a great job. He had a lot of former Nebraska coaches and players on his coaching staff.
Okay.
Yeah, Barney Cotton, Jeff Jamrock, Bill Bush, Clayton Carlin. Clayton Carlin, GA at Nebraska. Rich Glover was on that.
Oh, okay.
Rich Glover, Steve Stannard, Marvin Sanders. They were all on his staff.
Wow.
Clint Brown was a GA. They were all on his staff. So, it was like Nebraska to South.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Coaching staff. And then got a call from Dodge City. they offered me a full-time secondary job, so I took that. Coach Sam said, "Hey, go get your experience, and if I get something else, or if something comes open, I'm gonna bring you on."
Yeah.
So I coached at Dodge for 1 year, and then the guy that I replaced, I played quarterback at Dodge City, by the way, Ricky.
What?
All-American, JUCO All-American.
What? This boy doing the, he doing the most.
We ran the option, 26 touchdowns, Ricky. The last and first unanimous All-American quarterback at Dodge City. So I should be in their Hall of Fame.
You'll be there.
Yeah, I got a call last year about it. But so I coached Dodge for 1 season, and then the guy that played quarterback the year before I got to Dodge he got the head job at Emporia State. His brother was recruiting at Dodge, and he said, "Hold on, wait a minute, are you?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Can I use your phone?" Because you didn't have cell phones back then. This was in 2000. So he used the phone. He called his brother, and his brother said, "Hey, what do you think about coming to coach at Emporia State?" I'm like, "Sure." He said, "I can't. You can't be at Dodge City." So I coached at Emporia State for 3 years.
Wow. After Dodge.
2001, 2, and 3.
Okay.
2003, I lost my grandmother. Was done. It was to the point where
that's got to be a tough blow.
Right.
Yeah.
So I went to the boss and said, "Hey, I can't do this." So I took a year off, taught elementary. I taught preschool for 1.5 years in Kansas City.
Okay.
Then Coach Samuel, I'm gonna say T. Samuel for everybody that don't know.
Yeah.
T. Samuel is short for Tony Samuel.
Yeah.
T. Sam's call. He got the Southeast Missouri State job, 2005.
I remember that. Yeah.
He said, "Hey, I'm going to Southeast Missouri State. It's an hour from St. Louis. You rolling?" I said, "I'm there." So went down there. We were down there from 2006 to 2010. Then I left and went to Central Arkansas for 2 years because I wanted to have the whole room, meaning safeties and corners.
Yeah.
So that was my opportunity to have the whole room.
Okay.
At Southeast Missouri State, I just had corners. So I wanted to have the whole room. So
you
can
want
have that
safeties
experience.
and all. Yeah.
So I went to Central Arkansas for 2 years. We won conference. 2010, we won it all at SEMO. We won the conference and was the first time ever going to the FCS playoffs.
Huh.
So, and I didn't think that the administration was really big on football at SEMO.
Okay.
So I looked for a better opportunity, for
Yeah,
a place that.
Right.
So UCA came open and went over there for 2 years, and I was with a guy. I'll tell you what, the people I want to associate with, it's got to be about the kids.
Right.
It's got to be about the kids. Can't be about you, your ego.
Mm-hmm.
The guy I worked for over there, man, I'll tell you, he was a hard guy to work for, but it was all about him. And I just couldn't deal with the way he was treating those kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was the only full-time African-American on the staff. And all of African-Americans looking at me like,
Yeah.
And he'll tell you in the staff, this is my program. I'm going to run it how I want to run it. When you become a head coach, that's when you can run your program, or I'll fire you. He'll come in the staff meeting, start meetings like that. So,
in other words, you know where you stand right off the top.
Yeah, which was fine, but there's still a way to go about treating kids.
Correct.
The people I came under, they didn't do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I was there 2 years, and then I was going to take a year off. And Tony called and said he lost his secondary coach. Would I be interested in coming back? So I went there for a year, and then Jamrock called.
You went back to
SEMO, Southeast Missouri State.
Yeah, okay.
Tony was still there.
Okay.
Then Jamrock called, and he said, "Hey, we're going to create some recruiting positions. Would you be interested?" And I said, "Of course. That place saved my life."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Of course. So came back in March of 14 as a recruiting assistant, and then fired Bo after.
You came to Nebraska.
Yeah.
That's when you came to Nebraska.
That's when Jamrock got me back to Nebraska, and then they fired Bo. Coach Riley kept me. Thank God. He kept me on.
Okay.
And then was a recruiting assistant under Riley for 1 year. So 2 years as a recruiting assistant. And then director of high school relations came open. And I knew what that position entailed. And as a former player, I know the foundation of the University of Nebraska is the walk-on program.
Right.
So I went straight into his office. Him and DVD. DVD was the chief of staff.
Who was DVD?
He was Riley's chief of staff. He was Riley's right hand man.
Okay.
So I said, "Hey, I'm interested in the director of high school relations spot." And then he was like, "For real?" And I was like, "Yeah, why wouldn't I be?" And then Riley said, "That's a no-brainer." So they made me the director of high school relations.
Okay.
Because again, I wanted that position because I knew what that position entailed. That means
Basically, explain to people that didn't know.
you are responsible for contacting all the local high school coaches, building
Gotcha.
relationships, getting their top players, getting them in front of our coaches to see if we want to offer them a scholarship or recruit them as walk-ons.
Gotcha.
So, and then you're also responsible for pro liaison and then camps. So that was my duties.
So those Friday night lights and stuff like that.
I was responsible. Me and the director of player development was responsible for putting it on and getting it we're dressed up and ready to go.
Gotcha. Man, you stayed in Nebraska
9 years.
9 seasons. Wow. And this is your first year away from it after. But I also know that there's something just happened in your life for as an opportunity, and I'd like for you to share a little bit about that if you don't mind.
Yeah, I got just became the head high school coach at Dakota Valley High School.
Now, where is that?
That's in North Sioux City, South Dakota.
Okay.
Just by Sioux City. Iowa, Sioux City, Nebraska. South Sioux City, Nebraska.
Okay, so that's about 2 hours?
It's exactly 2 hours from here.
2 hours. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's a good opportunity for me.
And you're the head coach there?
The head coach.
Okay, good.
I've been up there 4 times, watched the kids work out. They were 6-4 last year. I'm looking forward to getting there, getting to work. The thing I'm most ready for is establishing a relationship with the players.
Right.
Again, they've never had an African American coach there.
Wow.
So I got to earn their
respect.
They got to earn my respect, and then I got to earn their trust. First and foremost.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
agree with that.
So that's my biggest challenge to me. Coaching is easy. My challenge is to earn their respect.
Do you have a staff in place?
So there were some guys that I'm going to keep on that was with the previous coach.
Okay.
Offensive coordinator, the O-line coach, D-line's coach, son's finishing up at South Dakota. He was a defensive coordinator at a high school in Vermilion.
Okay.
So I sat down with him. We talked football, and basically what I told him and the offensive coordinator, this is you guys' show. I'm going to intervene when I think I need to intervene, but this is your show.
Okay.
But what I want to do is have a physical team, a smart team. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the only way to do that is these are high school kids. You got to speak their language.
Yeah.
In order for them to play fast.
Right.
We've had trouble in college with kids not learning, being able to play fast.
Right.
So I said, dumb it down for them. Not saying that the kids are dumber by any means.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Making it simple.
Simple for them so they can go out and play fast and play hard.
Right.
So when I sat down with one of them and he started talking, and when he confused me, I said, hold on, bro. You're going to have to start that all over again. And so when he did, I understood it because he was using letters that nobody's ever used before. But the letters would tell a certain person where to line up. Like, so X, Y, Z, X receiver, Z receiver, and then the Y is for a tight end, right?
Right.
R is for running back. H is for H back. Well, he wasn't using none of those. And Q was for quarterback, right? I'm like, hold on. So he had an R, he had some other kind of letter up there, and I'm like, but the R was telling him someone to line up and where the play was being ran. I said, I got you now. Once he simplified it or went through it again, I understood why he was using those words. For a high school kid, that's really good.
Okay.
Now the defensive guy, he wants to run. What Nebraska defense running right now?
Wait, I tell you what, hold that thought. We're going to take one more break, and we're coming right back to the Get You Happy on Hour with my little brother. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back.
Deshaun Jackson for Brant Excavating. Brant's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, trucking, mass grading, and site prep, Brant is the place to call. To set up a quote or learn more, call Brant Excavating at 402-474-4113 or go to BrantExcavating.com. They're also hiring, so join the team today. Brant Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, no big bread.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $20 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer.
In response to attacks against Asian Americans, Maddie Park raised over $250,000 to donate cab rides to the Asian community.
There is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Support the Asian community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog, a cat, or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, call 988 for free, confidential, and compassionate support. On July 16th, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is transitioning to 988. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call, text, or chat 988.
Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Hey, we back. 93.7 the tickets to Get Your Happy On Hour. Now, Kenny, you was telling me about the defense. Now, what's going on with the defense? I know Nebraska, I ain't no defensive guy, but I know Nebraska runs a certain defense. Is that what you're going to do?
I'm going to let him do what he wants to do. Again, if I need to intervene, I will intervene.
Okay.
But he wants to run a 3-3-5. And there was one guy that was on staff last year, and I asked him, do we have kids on our roster that can run that kind of defense?
Yeah.
Because if we didn't, we were going to try to do something different.
Okay.
And he said, we do. We have a guy, two or three that can plug the middle. And then we have some skill guys that can just play fast.
Okay.
So again, I've been up there 4 or 5 times now, watched the kids work out. They've won state in basketball 2 years in a row. They played state baseball, so a lot of the kids, and then track.
So you got some athletes.
So there's some athletes there.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I got something to work with.
Okay.
Again, and then I met with my staff. You know, there's 3 in the building. There's other guys that's not in the building. But I basically told them, I said, listen, we all got to be working towards one common goal. That's for the betterment of this team and these kids. It's going to always be about those kids. It's never about me. It's never about you. If you're not doing it for the betterment of these kids, I don't want you around.
Right.
I don't. I said, if you're trying to live vicariously through your son that's on the team or
right.
something like that, we can't have that, because I want to do this for these kids.
Well, let me ask you a question right quick. Now, this ain't got nothing to do with nothing, but I just got to ask. Man, look at him, man. 2 hours ain't that far, man. If I come up to a game, man, you know, I can't sit in no stands though, man.
You're on the sideline.
Can I get on the sideline? Okay, then that's all I need to know.
Sioux City's nice. That's kind of close to my area. It's not a bad area.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm just saying I can't do the bleachers, but if you let me on the sideline,
you family.
I know, but I ain't gonna coach. I just want to.
Nope. You just sit back there and clap when something good happens. Don't say nothing bad when something bad happens. Don't say nothing crazy when something bad happens.
I might bring Rozier with me, man.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna have security out there. No, bring them up. Come on up.
No,
anytime, man.
I appreciate that, but you know, kid, I was just sitting there thinking, man. You know, the stuff we were talking about after, you know, off the field, and you know, I mean, you've had a very challenging life to say the least, and I want you to know, man. You know, big brother, little brother, I'm proud of you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, because I mean, you've had more than enough opportunities to just give up.
And to that, I always say, circumstances, right?
Right.
You're dealt. Not everybody's circumstances are going to be the same.
Right.
It's how you handle it.
Right.
So if you're playing cards, life is like playing cards.
Right.
If you're dealt a bad hand,
yes,
it's how you play that hand.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, adversity is common for you.
It's been, but I've never used that as an excuse.
Right.
I've always,
and that's why I'm saying I'm proud of you, because I've seen people that go through less adversity give up, and you didn't.
One thing about me is the way I was raised.
Okay.
It's not going to allow me to give up.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And I'm never doing this because I want to be known for this, or you know what I mean. I'm doing this to give back.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's guys like you. You've had adversity.
Oh, absolutely.
And you was able to bounce back because you wanted something better, right? You knew I'm the same way, but I'm also want to give back and that's why I took pride in what I did at the university.
Right.
I always try to educate our players.
Yeah.
Any person I came in contact with, if you came from this, you came from that.
Yeah.
It's what you want now.
Right. You can't use that as an excuse.
You can't use that as an excuse.
Right.
You may come from a well-to-do family, and you may start acting a totally different way.
Oh, yeah.
And it's my duty to make sure I get you back on track, or I'm going to at least try.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like you said to start the show, I'm like a little brother to you.
Right.
Right. That's why I try to educate them on former players.
Right.
You know, because for me to have a relationship with you and Mike, you know, that played before me.
Right.
Rich Glover that played before me.
Mm-hmm.
I cherish that.
Well, to me, it's a two-way street. We cherish knowing you guys as well.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but the key is to keep passing it on.
And that's something I tried to do.
Yeah. And that's all that matters. Hey, I just got to say thank you to everybody, especially my guest, Kenny Wilhite, man, for coming in and sharing everything with us. everybody that tunes into this show, this is a positive show.
Very.
And I just want, you guys to understand that we're just putting some positive out there. And I always close my show with the same thing, and I'm not going to change. Every day you blessed to see, it truly is another day in paradise. And no matter what, you keep your head up and you get your happy on down.
Dive into